In this video, I'm going to walk you through what the gut health test actually measures, what the colors mean, and what you can do with your results. Because most gut tests today are stool tests that tell you which bacteria are present, but this test, it does something different. Instead of looking at who is there, it looks at what your gut bacteria are producing and how that interacts with your immune system and your metabolism. So with just a simple finger prick dried blood spot, the test measures 3 key tryptophan-related markers. First, we have indole propionic acid, also known as IPA, which is a beneficial metabolite that is produced only by your gut bacteria from tryptophan. Then we have tryptophan, which is the essential amino acid that you get from your diet, also the starting material for several important pathways. And third, kynurenine, which is produced in your body when the immune system is more activated or under stress. And from these markers, we calculate 3 ratios, and we combine everything into a single gut health index. And together, these markers show you how well your microbiome is converting tryptophan into protective metabolites like IPA, and how much is being pulled into the immune stress pathway towards kynurenine. The colored zones that you see on the test report, green, yellow, and red, they are directional indicators and not diagnoses. They don't label anyone as sick or healthy. They show where your biology sits on a spectrum from under more strain on one side to better supported and resilient on the other. The purpose of this test is prevention and improvement. It is to give you a clear, trackable signal of how your diet, lifestyle, and stress, as well as targeted supplementation, are shaping your gut immune balance over time, and to also make it easy for you to see whether your actions like optimizing your fiber intake, for instance using synbiotic, or improving your omega-3 status with balance oil, are actually moving the biology in the right direction. So now let's look at how you can read the report. Because the first thing you will see is your gut health index. And this index, it takes your 3 key ratios together with your total IPA level, and it turns them into one overall score that works as a summary of how your gut bacteria and your immune system are working together. So if your index is in the green zone, you can have medium or high. It suggests that you have good microbial support and a relatively calm background immune activity. But if your index is in the yellow or red zone, it doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong, but it clearly shows that there is room for improvement and that diet, lifestyle, and targeted tools can help you move this score in a better direction over time. So next you will see your IPA level. And we know IPA is made only by your gut bacteria from tryptophan. Your own cells cannot produce it. So if IPA is detected in your blood, it is a direct signal of microbial activity. And in simple terms, having higher IPA levels means that your gut bacteria are actively producing this protective metabolite. And this usually reflects a well-fed, fiber-supported microbiome with plenty of plant diversity. If you have moderate IPA levels, it means that there is some activity, but still potential to strengthen it. And this is where increasing fermentable fibers, adding more plant variety, and including polyphenol-rich foods can make a measurable difference. If you have low IPA levels, on the other hand, this suggests less microbial support, which is often because of low fiber intake, low plant diversity, or it could be after stress, recent illness, or medications that affects the microbiome. Next, the IPA to kynurenine ratio, which is your microbiome immune support marker. This one, it compares two main directions for tryptophan metabolism. We have the microbial route, which produces IPA, and then we have the immune and stress route, which produces kynurenine. If you have a higher IPA to kynurenine ratio, this means your microbial support is relatively stronger compared to immune activation. And this is often seen with higher fiber intake, better omega-3 status, and steadier immune balance. If you have a lower ratio, it means that the immune-related route is more dominant. For example, when immune stress is higher, psychological stress is elevated, or your microbial support is weaker. Next, we have the IPA to tryptophan ratio, which is our gut microbiome efficiency marker. And here the question is, out of the tryptophan that is available, how much is being converted into IPA by the gut microbiota? If you have a higher IPA to tryptophan ratio, this suggests there is stronger microbial conversion, which is typically seen in people who eat more fiber, have more diverse plant intake, and support overall a richer microbial ecosystem. Now, a lower or more modest ratio suggests that there is less tryptophan going down this microbial route. For example, it could be from low fiber intake, reduced microbial diversity, or when stress and inflammation pulls more tryptophan towards kynurenine instead. Then finally, we have the kynurenine to tryptophan ratio, and this is our immune stress indicator. And here we ask how much of your available tryptophan is being converted into kynurenine. A higher kynurenine to tryptophan ratio reflects stronger activation of this pathway, whereas a lower ratio points to a calmer immune tone with more tryptophan left for other routes in the body, such as the microbial indole production. Now, when you get to the bottom of your report, you will see the actual measured concentrations of IPA, kynurenine, and tryptophan, together with target ranges. And here it is important to distinguish normal biological values from optimal values. So normal reflects what we typically see in the general population. But our target ranges are based on people with higher fiber intake, stronger omega-3 protection, and more favorable immune microbial profiles. So if a value is outside of the target range, but still within the normal biological limits, it doesn't mean that something is necessarily wrong. It simply means that the biology has not yet moved into the more optimized pattern that we are aiming for. So these values are useful primarily as context that gives you transparency and comparison with published studies, but most importantly as your personal baseline so that you can track your changes over time. Even modest shifts like a rising IPA level and stable tryptophan levels or a small reduction in kynurenine can help you see that your gut immune cooperation is moving in a better direction. But in order to compare your tests accurately, it is important that sampling conditions are similar each time. So it should be ideally taken in the morning, fasted, and preferably not after heavy alcohol intake, a recent illness, or an unusually intense exercise. So now to the part that matters most in practice. What should you actually do when your gut health index is yellow or red, or when your kynurenine and your kynurenine to tryptophan ratio is high? You can think of your results as a navigation system. It simply points you towards the changes that will help you move your biology into a more favorable zone or direction. So if your gut health index is yellow or red, or your IPA is low and your IPA to tryptophan is modest, the first thing you should prioritize is your dietary fiber intake. You should aim for around 30 to 35 grams of fiber per day from a variety of vegetables, fruits, legumes, oats, barley, nuts, and seeds. We know most people are far below this, which is exactly why IPA often ends up low. Now, in order to make this more practical, you can also add xenobiotic. Adding 2 scoops per day will help you add roughly 9 grams of extra dietary fiber. And here you also get a mix of 8 different fiber types, which helps feed a broader range of beneficial bacteria and also support higher IPA production. So the core recommendation in this scenario is to combine a fiber-rich baseline diet with 1 to 2 scoops of xenobiotic daily to help you move IPA and your gut health index into the green zone over time. Now, if your kynurenine level or your kynurenine to tryptophan ratio is high, this tells us that the immune and stress-related pathways are more active. In this situation, one of the things that can help is to take a look at your omega-3 intake more closely. If you don't eat fatty fish regularly, this is a good place to start. You should try to include omega-3 rich fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines a few times per week. But on top of that, you can also use balance oil as a daily way to secure that you get a stable intake of EPA and DHA and that you get enough of this, and also to support a healthier omega-6 to omega-3 balance. A well-supported omega-3 status is not the only factor, but it is an important part of helping to promote a more balanced immune environment. And together with dietary fiber and lifestyle changes, this helps to create conditions that are associated with more favorable kynurenine and kynurenine to tryptophan values over time, and ultimately a more favorable gut health index. Because the kynurenine pathway is often activated by stress and immune load, we also need to look at our everyday habits. So you should aim for daily movement, like walks that help you gradually bring your step counts up every day. You should include regular activity that you enjoy. It could be strength training, yoga, cycling, or just anything that fits your life that helps you become more active. And also protecting your sleep and recovery with consistent bedtimes and a simple wind down routine can help. And you should maybe also consider adding at least one stress reducing practice like breathing exercises, more time in nature, or just short breaks during the day where you slow more down on purpose. It doesn't need to be perfect. The goal is that you have a steady trend. So reducing chronic stress load so less tryptophan is pushed into kynurenine. So when you see a yellow or red gut health index or higher kynurenine and higher kynurenine to tryptophan ratio, the message isn't that something is wrong with you, it's just that your system is asking for more support. So in practice, that means that you should be paying more attention to your dietary fiber intake in your everyday diets, making sure that you get enough omega-3 fatty acids, and also looking at your daily routines, your movement, your sleep, and your stress supportive habits, because we know all of these influence how your gut and your immune system communicates. So when you repeat the test under similar conditions, after focusing more on these parts, you will be able to see if those choices are starting to shift things. Whether your IPA level is moving up, whether your kynurenine and your kynurenine to tryptophan ratio are easing down, and whether your gut health index is moving into a more favorable zone, or even whether you would need more targeted support. So that's really what this test is designed to do. It is designed to turn complex gut chemistry into clear, trackable signals so that you can see where you are today and how your everyday choices are helping to move your biology in the right direction over time.